For those of you who don't know me, my name is Miranda Glavin. I'm a careers advisor, founder and director of Elevate Careers, which is a careers guidance and education company based in Brighton. I've been a careers advisor for over 10 years, working in Brighton and Hove and Sussex and beyond. So that's kind of where I'm coming from. This particular series of webinars is funded by a project that we run called Get Career Confident. Just very briefly, because I want to crack on with the year 12 information, we've got quite a lot of support online at the moment. It's all gone virtual. You can book careers interviews if you would like one for your young person in your life. You can book those online. This PowerPoint, by the way, will be on our website, so you can click on all these links. We've got lots of careers education resources. I'll be referring to those later, but we've got tons of videos and other resources on our website. We have a dedicated parent carer page on Facebook. Start following us. We upload stuff every day, from opportunities to tips to hints to information to career exploration, all sorts of things. So get following us. And like I already mentioned, we've got a couple more webinars this week. We will probably do some more, but this is a starting off and seeing how they go. Right, okay. So this is what we're going to be covering. Top tips for everyone, just general advice in these strange days. What are the options? How to choose the right option? That's a big one. Some information about university and some information about apprenticeships. I will touch on other options as well, but obviously each of these things could take up a whole webinar, at least in themselves. So it's going to be a bit of a broad sort of brush stroke. But those of you who, have specific questions or you want more information, at the end there's a little feedback form, and if there are things that you think that we need to talk about more, then let us know, because I'm very happy to do another one on a particular topic. Okay, so top tips for everyone. Above and beyond everything, mental health is number one. We are all experiencing different levels of stress and anxiety, and maybe you're feeling actually fine at the moment, maybe it'll come later. I think we really absolutely, number one is be kind to yourself. So if you're finding in my experience, the year 12s are doing a brilliant job. I'm interviewing lots of them online, but some of them are feeling pretty demotivated, and I think that's pretty normal. So be kind to them, be kind to yourself. UNICEF's got some top tips. There's some brilliant stuff on motivating your child here, and sort of ideas about how you can break down sort of tasks, and so things are doable. But yeah, have a read of those, because they're really fantastic. If you've got maybe the opposite problem, you've got a really motivated young person who wants to do more, we've put together a video for some suggestions of some online courses and things they can do, and there's a handout that's attached to that called Boredom Breakers. So have to check in with that, maybe for yourself. You never know, there's some online courses you might enjoy as well. And then lastly, just a reminder, we're here to help. There's a student version of this presentation that will be up online later today, and our Facebook page, and book an interview. So some top tips there. Okay, so post-18 options. What are the options? University is probably one that everybody knows about. I'm going to talk about that in a little bit more detail in a moment. Apprenticeships have in recent years become much more broad and available, which is fantastic. We've now got degree apprenticeships as well, which is brilliant, because then you get a degree and you work and you earn. Those of you who have a child in year 12, there might be some of you who maybe the course isn't quite right for them and they're thinking about changing courses. This is absolutely doable. Between the age of 16 and 19, you have 3 years of free education. So you can, in theory, change to another 2-year course. Obviously, the best thing is to try and do the course that you enjoy in the first place, but it might be that maybe you do 2 years of A-level and then a vocational course, or you start with a vocational course, realise it's not for you, and move into A-levels. There's lots of different options, and you can also do further education following 2 years of study. So, for example, an art foundation course. So that, it doesn't have to be just finishing college and then going straight to uni. There's no other educational learning opportunities out there, there are other things you can do, some of which are free, some won't be. Access courses are a good example. They are a one-year course that let you go on to university if you've not got the right qualifications. You know, I'm whizzing through a lot of this stuff, and if there are things that your ears kind of prick up and you think, oh, actually that might be really relevant, drop us a Q&A, or we can talk afterwards. Work, obviously at the moment, a bit of a tricky one. There will, of course, be more work opportunities in the future. Right now, I'm quite pleased for the year 12s because they've got another year in school or college, which, you know, will hopefully even things out so that when they leave next year, the world's looking a little bit less, or a bit more calm, I imagine. But again, that's a whole kind of topic that I can talk more about in terms of, you know, how getting your first job. Last, I've grouped these all together, which is a bit unfair, but it's because often you don't get paid for these, but they are, for most careers, invaluable and really important. Volunteering, work experience, and internships. It's possible to, you know, take some time out after school to do all of those. That might involve travel as well. Obviously, right now we can't do that, but hopefully next year we will be able to. And you know, I highly recommend them. I think they're a brilliant idea. There's quite a good summary of the options I've talked about, that link there, but that's for you to look at later. I'm just going to do a double check that we're all good with. Yeah, if there's any problem at any point, just send me a message in chat or Q&A and let me know if you can't hear me or something strange happens. Okay, so this in itself is, you know, a huge topic, and it's what careers advisors spend most of their time doing. How do you make choices? How do you decide what is the right pathway for you? And of course, as on an individual level, there are all sorts of different things which you have to factor in, from the opportunities in your area to, you know, what qualifications you've got so far, your ability or interest. You know, this is a massive topic, but I just wanted to kind of give you a little bit of a hint of some of the things that I do when I'm speaking to young people, because this is something you can take away as a parent carer. I try and help them think beyond the next step, and that's particularly difficult for teenagers, and difficult for lots of people, but acutely difficult at, you know, the sort of 14 to 18 stage, when you really need to be doing it, which is, you know, not fair really. So if they are in year 12, as your students will be, your young people will be, it's not just thinking, okay, next year, and maybe not even just the year after that, but beyond, for example, university. Do they have an aspiration? If they do, that's really, really important to work backwards to see what is the most useful thing they can be doing right now to make sure that they are on track to get there, or at least keeping that door open. If they don't have an aspiration, that's fine. There are things I'm going to be showing you in a second, which will hopefully start to help them explore what they could do. But even if they do all of that and they still think, I don't know is okay. Careers guidance, or, you know, career in general, is not about having all the answers, but it's about exploring who you are and what is out there, and making sure the decisions you are making for your life are the ones that are the best at that point. You know, things that I've done in my past, and I think, why did I do that then? That was maybe I should have waited, or maybe I should have done it earlier. We've all got those kind of queries, but for young people that are making decisions now, it's even more important to make sure they're as right as they can be for that moment, you know, whether that's spending money on going to university or starting down a career path that, you know, you need to do particular courses for. It's really important to be as informed as you can be. So 3 questions. What do I want? The hardest one, but we'll come to the exploration in a second. What are the routes to get there, and what do I need to do now? Those are the kind of things that your 12s should be thinking about right now. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, lots on this page, and they're all helpful. So I'm just going to tell you what they all are, and then you'll have the opportunity to look at them in your own time. But the first one, get career competent videos. So we have 2 types of videos. One are our C2B videos, which are interviews with people in the local area across Sussex. short, sharp, sweet, just basically introductions to different jobs that young people probably wouldn't have really come across before. You can filter them by career area or by words like not going to uni, for example. And at the end, there's some labour market information about where you could study that subject and the kind of employers, what are the different pathways. So they're really helpful for just testing the water and seeing what's possible. The other one are our how-to videos, which are basically a version of this. So breaking down something like, you know, how do you choose where to go to college, or how do you do a personal statement? So both of those are valuable in their own way. There's 2 careers quizzes. So basically it's psychometric, they're called. So they look at your interests and skills and then kind of look at those and then decide what kind of career might be suited to you. They're not infallible, they're not perfect, but they can trigger ideas that maybe young people wouldn't have thought of before. There's a really short one in this link here on the I Could website and a much longer one on the Prospects website. Both are useful in their own way, so yeah, both a go. The National Careers Service is quite a good, it's not particularly beautiful looking website, but it's got information, good, informed, up-to-date information on all sorts of different careers, you know, what you need to do to get into it, what it's like, etc. Worth of having a look at. Specific websites. On my Elevate Careers website, I've made a list of websites which are connected to sort of areas of work. So if your young person is obsessed with music, or they're really into computers, or they love science, I've got career websites that are linked to those topics, and that's quite a useful way of just starting to look at what's possible in different areas. Last couple of ones, just doing a quick time check. Gosh, time whizzes by. So informed choices is, oh, I've just been told that, no, I've got 21 participants, so you're all here. I've been told the link's not working, which is a bit strange, but it seems that you're here. So could somebody just, so I know I'm not speaking into the abyss here, could someone just, oh, you got raised hands, that's good, thank you. I'm liking that you've raised your hands, yeah. Okay, I'm guessing that my colleague has had some sort of technical fail. If yeah, it's really helpful if someone just puts a little something in the Q&A, just maybe saying hello. So I definitely know you're not raising your hand to say help. Oh, brilliant, all okay, fab, thanks guys. That's really helpful. Right, where was I? Informed choices, yeah. So this is the Russell Group of universities. So they're the red brick sort of top universities put together. It used to be a PDF, it's now a full website called Informed Choices, worth having a look at. Basically gives you an idea of the kinds of degrees that A-levels link to. So it's quite helpful if your young person is kind of, you know, saying, well, what can I do with my biology and geography and French or whatever? So yeah, have a look at that. It also gives you, and this is opening a bit of a can of worms, but an idea of, are there subjects which, I mean, it's a bit late in the day because you've already picked your A-levels, but it will give you a bit of a clue if there are universities, for example, that might be a bit sniffy about some subjects. But most are not like that anymore. There's only a few. Last couple, UCAS Hub is the new UCAS area where you can explore your subject ideas. You can kind of basically curate information that you're interested in, and it holds on to that, which is really helpful as teenagers are starting to look into what they want to do next. There's stuff on uni and apprenticeships there, so it's not exclusive. And last but not least, our A-level handout is really helpful to summarize some of the other things I'm not going to talk about. So things like travel examples, or places you can access good travel opportunities and ideas for going into work and things like that. I'm not going to go into this in massive detail, and very briefly, just so you know it's here. Work experience, I think, is one of the most important things a young person can do. Obviously, at the moment, it's really tricky. There are things online that you can access. Most of these are free. And we've got some personal development suggestions here as well. So while we're in lockdown, or whatever this is now. These are really worthwhile doing because they're going to give you an idea, or young people an idea, of what the world of work is like, what they don't like, which is all, you know, the learning that we need to help us find our path. So yeah, have a look at those, see what you find or they find interesting. Okay, university, the big one. Again, what I've sort of mostly done here is link you to things that I would recommend you watch or read, but I'm going to talk you through them because they'll hopefully kind of all make sense. First question I get asked a lot is, can I afford it? I've done a little video on that topic, but the short, sharp, sweet answer is yes. Everyone can. Yes, it's expensive. They won't pay back till they're earning over, I think it's now 26,500 a year. Sorry if that's wrong, but it's around that if it is wrong. So, and even then you only pay back what you can afford. Getting through university for some of us can be really tough. There are bursaries and grants, which is free money available if your family has got a lower income. So not being able to afford it should definitely not be the main reason that a child doesn't go to university. So that's the first thing I want to say. Why should I go? And I also hear that quite a lot. There's a really good article there giving lots of different reasons. My own input on it would be, it probably is the single biggest thing a young person can do to grow. And by grow, I mean experiencing things at a time in their life where their world has possibly been quite small and they're suddenly getting a lot bigger. They meet people that they would never have met before. They come into contact with things or ideas they would have never thought about before. I think it's absolutely one of the best things you can do, but it has to be the right course and the right place at the right time. So I'm not a fan of just everyone going to university because they should, you know, everyone should go. It has to be right for them. There is a virtual fair on June 17th. So usually there are summer open days around now for all the universities. They're obviously not happening. So the university virtual fair is a great thing to be going to. It's on June 17th. The link will take you there. The company that's doing that's also got weekly webinars running till July on things like personal statements and what universities like. Also worth tuning into. I think they're on Wednesdays. I've done a little video on writing a personal statement. My key top tip about that is basically make sure you look at the breakdown of modules of the course you're most interested in and make sure you're talking about that, because people tend to go off on, you know, all the work experience they've done and, you know, things they've done in their spare time. What they really want to know is, are you good enough for this course? So really target in on that, but the video says more. UCAS has got great information about writing them as well, but again, I can help if you have specific questions. I've done walkthrough videos on registering and applying to UCAS, taking you step by step because it's a bit of a minefield, the actual application. Just a heads up of dates. UCAS deadline, complete cut-off deadline, is January the 15th every year for the September start. Colleges usually have a much earlier deadline, usually around November time. So if your child is in year 12, when they get back to college in September, October, the deadline's only a month or two later. So you really need to be looking at this stuff now. And my last comment on university is, if a young person is umming and ahhing, my recommendation is always apply, have it as a backup. You can defer or decide not to go, but if you don't apply, you then don't have that option. So it's always worth applying, even if you're just thinking maybe. That's my 2 cents worth on that. I'm going to say one more thing on apprenticeships and then just open up to questions. So let me know if you've got any questions at this point. Type them into the Q&A and I'll whiz through them as quickly as I can. Apprenticeships, big one at the moment, because I was saying when I did the one yesterday, I checked apprenticeships available in the local area on Monday night. Usually you'd see at least 100 or something. There were 14. So right now it's gone way down, but by next summer, where your children will be looking, I'm hopeful that it will definitely be on the up. I've got lots of information on our website done a video on an overview of them, how to choose one, how to find one, some examples with our C2Bs of local apprentices. There's a guide which is incredibly thorough. It will take you through the whole thing. Those who are thinking about degree apprenticeships, worth looking at the Not Going to Uni website and UCAS. So those are the kind of higher level ones. But remember, sometimes you have to start an apprenticeship actually lower than the qualification you've already got. So those of you doing level 3, you might find you have to do another level 3 in an apprenticeship, because if you've never done, I don't know, digital media before, then you probably won't be able to go in as high as you would like. They're recruited throughout the year, but degree apprenticeships usually correspond with the university deadline, so around January. So if you're applying to uni and degree apprenticeships, you've got your work cut out, but it'll be worth it. Excuse that very loud motorbike, that's always in by, if you can hear that. And yeah, lastly, make sure you get your discount card. Okay, that's just a jolly thing to leave in the background here. I'm now going to just go to your Q&As in the last few minutes that we've got. Okay. Okay, right, so link didn't work in the oh, that's interesting. Okay, so it seems that people are able to see me. Are there any questions in terms of what I've been talking about so far? Because we've got a few minutes left. Let's just stop sharing this and just check there's nothing in the chat box. Okay. Brilliant. So, okay, I've got some coming up now. Right, so yeah, if you've missed when I said earlier, and I'm sounding like there was some issue with the link, which is really annoying and strange, because I did have quite a lot of you at the beginning, so who knows. Mysteries of technology, having fun with that at the moment. So Sarah, so might have missed it, but where can we see these slides with links? Can they be sent by email? I can, but they will be on our website, on getcareerconfident.co.uk, in parents, and there's in the parents section it says Zoominars. The PowerPoint and this video will both be in there. So where you would have probably have gone to access this, the actual video and the presentation will be there either later today or tomorrow. So yeah, you'll be able to click on all of the links there. Thank you for saying it's very helpful. Should my child use all 5 choices in UCAS? Yes, I would recommend it. It's slightly cheaper to do 1, but it's once you've gone beyond 1, it's the same price. So you might as well. I know sometimes maybe students are just adamant they only want to go to one place, and if they don't get in there, then they don't want to go anywhere else. If that's the case, and you've really, that there's only one option, which would be very unusual, then of course you don't have to use all 5. But my general advice would be to choose a kind of, if everything goes wrong, choice, you know, backup kind of uni, a couple that are in your comfort zone, as in grades you think you're going to get, and maybe one that's an aspirational too, that's an aspiration. So you've got a spread. That would be my recommendation. Do you have to do a different personal statement for each uni you apply to? No. So that's a really important thing for you to get your head around. There is one personal statement that goes to all the unis. So it's best not to start being specific about a uni unless you're only applying to one. Which is when I was saying about look at the modules of your favourite uni, I wouldn't mention them necessarily unless they are across most of the unis, but you can at least get a feel for the sorts of topics, and then you can think about, okay, what have I studied that will show that I have knowledge in this area. So yeah, just one personal statement. Yeah, I've already mentioned about where you can find it. Are you aware of any universities running summer schools? Yeah, so normally they would be, but at the moment, obviously nothing is, it's all online. I don't think they've really managed to pull together much in terms of, because usually they'll have like a year 12 summer school offer. I will look to check if there is anything. If you're not following someone on Facebook, can you? Because I will do a little Facebook post about that tomorrow, probably, if I find anything. I'm sure I will find something. I'm just going to make a note so I don't forget. Summer schools. Yeah, it's, I mean, obviously everything's being impacted at the moment, and it's just making the best of these difficult times. How do you start looking for the right course you need? I mean, you might have missed it, but the bit where I was talking about exploration and research, that is the key thing. So in the UCAS website, for example, you can look via topics, so areas of study. And that's quite a good idea to see, okay, where can I do, I mean, something like English is going to be massive. But if you've got a bit more of a niche idea, or you might not yet know about subjects, and you'll find them on there. So the first thing is just to be broad, to look to see what's available, and then start to think about what's important to you. You know, is it being close to home? Is it being far away? Is it the facilities? Is it what ex-students have gone on to do? There's quite a lot of things that you can take into the decision. But if you need help with it, book an appointment and we can talk you through. Will the students receive help from the school with writing their personal statement? That's a very good question. It depends where you are. At the schools that we operate in, yes, we absolutely do. I don't know where your particular child is. If you want to let me know, I can tell you what kind of help. If it's a local school, chat to me afterwards. I'll be happy to give you some more support. But yes, most colleges and schools will give their young people support, so they won't be on their own. But there is lots of help online as well, but it does take time, and that was something I would absolutely say. Expect many rewrites. I mean, I've had personal statements before when we've had to rewrite them about 10 times, which is you know, a bit demoralizing, but they've got in, so you know, it's worth it. I've only ever seen one personal statement that was perfect at first go, and she got unconditional places in a few different universities. But that's and I've seen a lot of personal statements. Any other questions before I bring it to a close? So thank you, everybody. That's, you know, some really great questions that have come through there. Anything that I've missed or you would like more information, my email is in the PowerPoint, which will be online. You know, follow us on Facebook, give us feedback in the feedback form, which hopefully will work, but with technology at the moment, who knows. But if it does work, that's brilliant to know. Actually, just before you, I think you were all going to disappear in a second, but I've got another poll, which maybe that one will work. So many fun things with the technology at the moment. No, I don't think that's going to work. So I'm going to. Oh, here we go. Yes. Last question, while a few of you are still there. We are thinking about doing a Facebook group for parents and carers, so that you can get knowledge and support from other parents and carers in Brighton and Hove and Sussex, and feedback from careers advisors. I wondered if this is something that would be useful for you. I feel like it might be really helpful, but obviously I'm not you guys. So I'm getting lots of yeses and a few possiblies, no nos at the moment. So that's you know, helpful to kind of get that feedback. Yeah, brilliant. Okay, thanks guys. Thank you all for listening. If you've got any other questions, thank you for the thanks as well. I'll hover here for a couple more minutes. Just use the chat box. Sorry about the tech stuff at the beginning, but hopefully most of it worked okay. Yeah. Thanks, everybody. Yeah, I'm just going to put, hopefully you can all see this, the website. So it's called getcareerconfident.co.uk. Copy and paste that. I don't think it went to you guys. There you go. Okay,